Welcome to Trading Lounge and the European Indices for the 6th of November, and on the weekly chart here we're looking at the DAX in a very bullish manner here in terms of an A and a B and a C for wave 4, up for wave 1, back for wave 2, and then up for 1 and back for 2 here. So we're in a bit of a third wave through here. Obviously when we come to old highs over here we will see the market struggle a little bit. It's very rarely that we see it just actually push straight through. However, that said, we just need to be mindful of where we are within this particular structure, because we're not in a fifth wave coming up here, we're in a third of a wave coming up here. So we're in a very powerful, strong part of the structure here. So we need to be a little bit careful about that. But at the same time, we just need to count the waves. So let's just go in and do that. So what I was expecting, normally what I see with when we come to a large number like this, we see we see some type of correction, a little arrival, little reaction, the first high above the level, and then some type of correction back down and then up from that point there. So in that case, we're still in that first high above the level sort of area here, but I expect to pull back in this, so just in the bigger picture with that in mind, and we'll just go into the wave 4-hour chart here. So I've been counting 1 and 2, and nice strong third wave here and fourth, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then going up into wave 5. So from 4 to 5 here, we're looking for 5 waves as well. So on the hourly chart, so picking it up from this wave 4 here, we're looking at this as wave 1 and wave 2 here, and all the way up for wave 3. We can see that this is corrective because it's got overlapping wave structures, so we should see a little move higher here. We've been long here. I expected to see a bit more of a correction across here. We took some profit here. Don't always get it right, but I've also moved the stop up under this particular low here to protect what we have at this stage. I do expect to see another little impulse wave to the upside here, where we'll take profit at 13,200 here. Have I updated the tick chart? We'll just see. We'll just have to bring in a bit more data here. Okay, yeah, well, anyway, yeah, so it's 100 ticks, so wave 3 here. Let's just bring in 1 week. Okay, so this is our count to the upside here, so 1 and 2 here, and then all this up here, I won't go into all that detail, but all the way up here for wave 3 and ABC for wave 4 here. So we can pretty much look at, copy this here, so wave 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here, something like that. Let me just check this out a little bit. Looks quite impulsive at that point. Looks a little bit odd actually. I can see we've got 5 waves here. That's all a little bit odd as well. I can see there's an A and a B and a C here, but I can't count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. Do you know what I mean? So it looks like a B wave here, but then I've also got a B wave here as well as an A and a B and a C here. So it gets a little bit complicated here. It's just on the close, that's all. Yeah, that's a bit weird. Okay, so not counting for that, we'll take this, and I'm just going to take it to this 5 wave structure to here. So that would leave wave 2 just here. That's going to be the case. I'm just not sure how that fits. Obviously that must be a wave 4 and a wave 5 here, but even that doesn't look right. Not to worry, but this here would be, that's where we can expect it to settle, let the dust settle, so to speak, and then move back up from that point. And where are we? So we've got the midpoint here at 150, 30, 20 and 10, 1, 2 and 3. So that should find support on here. We'll get a bounce on here. So I guess once it comes down to the point, we just always need to be a little bit careful. Being long, I mean, long above here for sure, okay, above that point there. But you may be able to, if this moves back down through to here and then comes back up to the closest largest number, which would be 40, you could build back in a small position on here and then build back in on this side here. This is the one that would be at risk though at that point. It's just not that nice moving up here. None of this is, none of that there's right. Maybe we're still in a larger correction here. Wave fours can get a bit ugly, but anyway, it's all such a small space, so it's not to worry. So just rehash our little strategy here. So we'll keep our stop below this low here, and if it's going to go higher here, then you can take, I mean, I won't make it like an official trade because it's just, but you can go long above there and still take profit at that level there. So I'll just leave that at that. One thing I did want to point out though is that let's just, I mean, when we're looking at this on the weekly chart here, this is much the same as American banks, actually. So I've got this as 1 degree higher here, but if I brought across BAC here, for example, I've got an A and a B and a C here, then up for 1, ABC back for 2, up for 1, back for 2, up for 3 here. So this is the same as the DAX. But this is just all of 1 degree lower in terms of labeling. And sure, look, I've got one of them wrong, perhaps, you know, or not. But it doesn't matter. But the count is, the pattern's the same. So like the ABC here for wave 4, so that wave 4 matches up to this wave 4, and then we've got up for 1 and back for 2 here. So that's this one, up for 1 and back for 2 here, and then up for 1 and back for 2. So it's even just 1 degree, but this it's all the same. So it's just all the same. So 1 and 2 and 3 here, and 1 and 2 and 3 here in this case here as well. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. FTSE. The FTSE really scooted along here quite nicely. Remember when it was down here and I thought, you know, it's struggling, expecting it to take these highs out here because we label this as an ABC and whatever, and expect it to move up, but it was just slow. But then it really it sort of moved along nicely and completed that structure. So that's pretty cool. I didn't go long, but obviously I said that you could do it here. I didn't do it because we're going long in the DAX, and this looked like it was struggling here, but I should have been a bit more wise and know that markets catch up with each other when they're ready. Yeah, so okay, so from wave 2 low here, roughly, you can do better work than me on that. And so this will be the, yeah, maybe that wave 4 on the DAX is not finished then, if this has still got this little thing here to do. So we've got the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here, and we've got the 38.2% here, and we've also got the closest largest number, which is the midpoint here, 50. Probably haven't got it spot on, but anyway. So this can move down to this space here in one way or another before seeing one more move to the upside here. Because the extension's in wave 3 here, that means that wave 1 and wave 5 will be roughly the same, taking into account how far this drops back into this space here, because that's not much of a wave structure here, and if that drops back into here, it's not even going to make a new high here. So in that case, what you can do sometimes is, there's lots of other ways of going about this, but you can take that distance here, and then you can take the 61.8% of that, move that to there, I don't know if that's in the textbooks, but it's just something I noticed. And that can give us that target point to the upside there. Just roughly, we always like to move it off to the closest, largest number. So if that's 7.4 there, we would look at group 1, wouldn't we? 10, 20, and 30. So it's likely to fail on support at 30 there. So I'll just put that in it's correct thing, at 40 there. So that's all cool. So what we could say as well here, if I've made a mistake, which is not the first time, if this here, this level here, 73.50, becomes the retested resistance, then we need to be on the short side because I've made a mistake. So what would normally happen is that would come down and bounce off that, and then it would come through, and then it would come back and retest it. We don't get involved in any of that, but we use this here as this low as a catalyst for a trigger to the downside, just 1 point below that. Well, when I say, look, if that's sitting on 30, or if that low is 31, you don't want to third it short at 30 because all the orders are going to be gathered at 30. So you'd look at 29, and wait for that to become the retested resistance as such. But also too, if you look at the futures market, that move, the way that you can tell that it's going to come down again from that is that on the futures market or on the stock market, if this move up here is on lower volume than this move down through here, well then that's divergence, that's your RSIs and blah blah blah, all that stuff. So you know that if that's going back up on lower volume than that, then, and you just need to look at your price bars for that, and if you can't see it in your price bars or it's too complicated, go to the next level up. So if you're at 1 hour, go to 2 hours or 4 hours or daily or whatever it may be, and you'll see it. And if you need to understand how to read volume properly, go to our website. I think there's some free stuff on price and volume analysis. Yeah, but if that's on lower volume going back up there, it's not going to go very far. It's going to stop at that number. 55 is the second strongest number in the market after 1, and then it will move down from that point. So the volume can, the price is one thing, and the volume, price is 50%, volume is the other 50%. The volume confirms the price action. On that note, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.